Welcome to another in the series of short talks from Turner's house in Twickenham. Turner and Pope's Villa. In 1719, Pope had bought an existing house in Crossdeep, Twickenham, and he had it remodelled as a villa by James Gibbs in 1720. He designed the gardens himself and created a grotto in a tunnel which led beneath the road between the house and the gardens. When Pope died in 1744, the house was acquired by Sir William Stanhope, who enlarged it with side wings, extended the gardens and built a second tunnel under the road. In 1807, the house was bought by Baroness Howe of Langar. She had been married to the Honourable Pen Asherton Curzon, first son of Viscount Curzon of Pen House in Bucks, who died in 1797. In October 1812 she married her oculist Jonathan Phipps, but there had been rumours of an affair for many years, and Turner alluded to these in a poem with classical references to them as Dido and Aeneas practising in Pope's grotto. Phipps was a fashionable eye surgeon, personal friend of George III and other royals. It was unusual for a commoner to marry an aristocrat, and there was considerable comment. Following their marriage, she made her Twickenham properties over to Jonathan Phipps, and here they set up house and held court until her death in 1835. Pope's Villa was a well-known local site, and people came to look at it. They drove their carriages past outside, and they rode up the Thames and waved at the people in her gardens. She felt this was an outrageous intrusion into her privacy. And so if you've got a house that people want to look at and you don't want them to, what do? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? You demolish it, which is what she did. When Turner heard about the destruction of the house, he was outraged, called Lady Howe the Queen of the Goths, and wrote 2 poems about the destruction of the house. He then made some sketches from the Middlesex bank of the Thames, or possibly from an island off Strawberry Hill House, and he used this sketch for the basis from his painting Pope's Villa at Twickenham during its dilapidation, shown at his gallery in 1808. Now, he probably painted the picture in a studio in his summer house of the house he was renting in Hammersmith at the time. When Turner decided to have a limited run of engravings made from the painting, he went to John Pye to discuss the possibility. While he was in Pye's premises, he noticed in the corner a man named Charles Heath working on somebody else's paintings. He was particularly taken by the quality of the figures. Now, this is an example of Turner's concern with quality control, because he said to Pye, look, yes, you can have the work, but from now on I want that man, Heath, to do all the figures. In the foreground of Turner's painting, there's a fallen tree symbolising Pope's Willow. When John Britton wanted to write a commentary for the engraving in his book, he wanted to specifically identify the willow as the one planted by the poet, but Turner wasn't having any. Turner said, well, you know, isn't that rather over the top? That's straining it a bit. Can't you just allude to it? So that's how it appears in the final version. When Turner exhibited the painting in his gallery in 1808, it was immediately bought by John Lester. He kept it until 1827, when he sold it to James Morrison, of course, who is known to us, the son-in-law of Joseph Todd, who bought Sandycombe Lodge. It remained in Morrison's family until 2008. Most recently it was kept at Sudeley Castle, and they decided they need to sell it to do needed restoration work to the castle, and so it was sold at Sotheby's, and it's now in the hands of a private collector in America in an undisclosed location. There was an attempt to keep it in the country, but it proved impossible to raise the money, so that's where it is now. And finally, here is one of the 2 poems that Turner wrote on the demolition of Pope's Villa. I think if you read through it, you'll probably agree that it was just as well that Turner stuck to the day job. Do visit our website where you'll find further information about the house and also details of how you are able to support us.